Hello, boys. How are we doing? I hope we're doing great. I, for one, am really excited for today. I have some spicy things to talk about, that's for sure. Anywho, um, so, oh, today was actually really interesting. For some reason, okay. So basically, this morning I actually woke up and, like, my sister actually came in to, like, apparently she wanted to make just a bunch of, like, Taco Bell crunch wraps. And I'm gonna be honest, I have never freaking. I've never had Taco Bell crunch wraps before, I'm gonna be honest. So, let's just go back there. Hi, I made it. Welcome. How are you? And okay. Hi, Vidal. How are you doing? How are you guys? Doing good? Doing D&D? Ooh, that sounds really fun. I'm just gonna be playing this once again, like, cause I figured I could do a series about it because apparently since there's like multiple endings to this and apparently like the hidden code within this, I didn't find myself playing this again. Like, I never thought that I would, because I was just doing it for the joke at first. However, just doing the work thing. I'm sorry. Well, I'm doing the work thing on other things too. Oh, actually, there's some things that I actually made a little earlier, and I would like to show you in a minute if I can pull it up. I actually did a couple animations, like pixel art animations for like overlays and whatnot whenever I get those figured out. So let me find the file and then you guys should be able to see it here in one moment. So okay, here's one that I finished today. Look at this. Look at my bee. Look at Herbert. I'm really proud of this because like this is my second ever like animation, let alone actual pixel art thing. So talking of which, my first one, let me find the file for that one too. Okay, let me see where it is. There it is, I found it. Here's the other one. I got a little ender pearl going, and I also have the little bee. So those are two animations that I did for like potential like overlay stuff. Like whenever like people sub or follow or something. I'm super proud of the ender pearl one on the left because like that took me the longest, and I'm so proud of it. Anyways, those are awesome. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna take those off screen real quick. And we're just going to hop right into it. Okay. So, those of you who weren't here at first, this game, okay, is a it's a freaking dating simulator based on like a Minecraft server or like members of those servers that I really enjoy, and I thought that it would just be like something funny to do for a joke, but apparently since there's different routes, if I complete all of those routes, apparently there's like some sort of code or something that can quote unquote benefit me in the future. That's what I've heard from this dude that shows up at the end of each route at called XD, and I want to see where that goes. So The other 2 routes that I did was over, like, here at the left. I got the romantic route for that, and then the guy at the right, George, I got the romantic route for that. So next, I don't know how to get a route for the dude in the middle, not gonna lie. I think that might be what the code is for, but we're just gonna have to see how that goes. So the other 2 routes, I think, if I'm right, is the platonic route. So, or like the platonic and the rejection, I think? Those are the only 2 other options. Just gonna wing it. Yeah, I have no idea how to do it. I'm going for it. Because, like, okay, you'll notice that as I'm going through these different routes, that I have no interaction with the dude in the middle who's named Dream. So you have Sapnap with the bandana, Dream, the green dude, and then George, the guy with blue and the clout glasses. Okay, I'm gonna get to narrating and whatnot. You stretched in your seat in the process of getting ready for a match of Hypixel with your friends when you've gotten a notification on your phone. It was an alert from Twitch. Your favorite streamers are online. The 3 people that you saw on the main screen. You finished setting up and proceeded to wait for your friends in the lobby. Thinking that they were taking quite a long while, you decided to put the stream up on your phone. Hi, hello, welcome to the stream, guys. I'm here with George and Sapnap. Say hi. Hi. Hello. We'll be doing another Minecraft challenge for the stream. In this challenge, we coded it so that suddenly, their voices began to fade out as your eyelids started to feel heavy. You try to fight against the urge to shut your eyes, but it was proven futile as you felt your body fall back from your seat, completely blacking out. Thud. You let out a groan as you felt your back collide with the ground. You assumed that you had landed on your apartment floor until you heard 3 different voices from above you. I completely forgot what everything looked like, so here we go. That was a really harsh fall. Do you think they're okay?
I don't know.
I forgot that there were actual voices. I don't know, Dream. Why don't you try landing a 140 block fall with no MLG? I forgot that. Dream, that name sound familiar. That sound effect ringing in your ear was just as familiar too. Don't know what sound effect. You began to stir awake and attempt to open your eyes. Wait, guys, shh. They're waking up, I think. Okay. You were met with 3 familiar faces looking down at you in concern. Hey, are you okay? Here, let me help you up. Jeez. You were brought up to your feet by the tall male, I forgot they said that, in front of you, your arms immediately flailing about as you try to regain your balance. You then began to pat the dirt off your pants as you come to the realization that you were surrounded by 3 of your favorite content creators. You're probably so confused right now. I go by Dream. What's yours? And I'm just gonna go with my normal... I forgot the R. My normal username. You introduced yourself. Dream grins. Hi. Hello. Nice to meet you. Dream was then pushed over to the side by a brunette who had a bandana tied around his forehead. Sapnap. He seemed to be a really energetic person. Hi. Hi there, Player One. I'm Sapnap. Sapnap, you didn't have to shove me. You just weren't quick enough to move out of the way. You bashfully nodded and waved back to the 2 as they both began to bicker. You heard a sigh coming from your right and looked towards a shorter brunette. I forgot they described him as shorter. I'm really sorry for these 2. This is all completely normal.
Hello.
I'm George. Pleasure to meet you, Player One. George then cleared his throat loudly enough for the other 2 to hear. So, what's our plan now? Obviously, we're stuck in a Minecraft world, but we can't stay here forever. Flustered, Dream and Sapnap had fixed themselves and focused on the situation at hand. Right, okay, this is all coming back. How do you think we can get out of this? Any ideas? It seemed that they have discussed this before you had arrived, confirming that everyone was from the real world and was not a bot built into the game's code. Seeing you fall from apparently 140 blocks high also served as enough evidence to you that you too were real to them. A moment of silence had passed for a while as all four of you tried to think of a solution. Free the end? Yep, they're talking about the achievement. Everyone turned to Dream. The what? The end. We find the stronghold, beat the Ender Dragon, and free the end, just like how we usually do our challenges. I'm not sure if this will help us get back, but it's worth a try, right? But then this is us, Dream. We're not our characters anymore, we're actual people stuck in their places. We can't just die and respawn, 0 hearts and we disappear. How are you so sure about that? That's a great point. We don't know if that's true. Sapnap, out of the blue, proceeded to punch George. I forgot that happened. Glimpse of George's health had appeared on top of his head for a split second with his last heart split in half. Dream's face faltered at this. Nice. Of all people, Sapnap, you really had to choose. So, if we're gonna finish this game, we all have to be careful. You nodded along, gazing up to see that you had half of your entire health bar down due to your fall earlier. Alright, then let's split up since it's almost nighttime. I'll go mine for ores. George, you go get us as many wood as you can. Sapnap, find us a proper place to reside in for now. And they all go, and then I have to figure out what to do. So I either get wood or wander around. I have no idea how to do, like, any of this stuff from here on out. We're just gonna hope for the best. So I'm actually gonna go with get wood for now. I'm gonna go with George. See, like, let's go for his route. You decided to walk towards the path George had taken, one leading deeper into the forest biome. Player 1. So you decided to catch up with me. You nodded as you went to the opposite side of the tree he was getting materials from, starting to break it down. I'm so glad you went with me. This way we could get more supplies a lot faster. You smiled at him as you went to another tree to gather more materials. After a bit of silence passed between you two, George spoke up once more. So, you play Minecraft. I'm pretty sure you know of us. Is there anything you like to do in particular that got you into it? I just happen to like the game. Last time I said I'm quite interested in coding. But, like, if we're going, like, for platonic or rejection, one of the two, then I probably should go with something other than that. I'm gonna go with I just happen to like the game right now. Let's see. Your friends have simply showed you the game and you found yourself interested in the various mini-games you could play with them. The summer wouldn't be as exciting if it meant not hanging out with them for the most of it. Yeah, especially when you have friends to mess around with, too. Without those two, I wouldn't know where I'd be. You can hear the fondness in his voice, and looked at him from where you stood. He looked back at you with an easy smile on his face. Once you feel like the amount of materials you've gotten was enough, you peer back and see George waiting for you to finish up. Let's head back, yeah? You nodded as you both make your way back when Sapnap had called out. Guys, I found a ruined portal. Right, ruined portal. The both of your heads snapped towards the direction of where Sapnap's voice resonated and bounded over to his area. Nice find. As everyone reunited, they had huddled around the ruined portal. Dream and George had exchanged the materials they have obtained, successfully creating a crafting table, which doesn't take much wood. Dream creates enough stone axes and pickaxes for everyone to be able to defend themselves when needed. Do we get shields? George then stashes the crafting table in his inventory. Now, let's see what the chest has in store for us. He motions for Sapnap to take the lead. The brunette bounds over to the chest buried in between the netherrack, opening the lockup and revealing the items locked in. So, what do we got? A gapple. There's also a flint and steel, a few golden ingots, an enchanted golden helmet, and some obsidian blocks. Sapnap then quickly sweeps a hand into the chest before anyone could speak up. I call dibs on the flint and steel, dang it. George rolls his eyes before approaching the chest. Then I'll grab the helmet. Dream was the last one to approach the chest, bringing out the two remaining items. He holds them both in his hands as if to weigh his choices. Here, player one. He tosses the golden apple to you. You glanced at it for a second before looking back up towards the blonde. He simply smiled back at you. You'll need it more than I do. Besides, these will be handy later on. Okay. You were about to speak up. Oh, yep. There we got the monster scene. Okay. You were about to speak up when the sound of groaning was heard all around you. The three of you had lost track of time as night came upon all of you. Numerous mobs have begun to spawn. Guys? Okay. There's a village down there. Find a 1-block hole. That's my marker. Upon hearing this, Dream had already sprinted ahead, leaving everyone else to follow his lead. As you all ran, you heard a yelp from someone behind you. Ah! George! George was wrestling with the zombies. Sapnap also turned his head around and immediately wielded his axe. As you looked behind the younger brunette, you spotted a creeper approaching his way. Let's go Sapnap, because we're going with platonic. There we go. He gets the creeper. You nodded at him to continue his way to George. As the creeper began to flash white, you hit the mob one more time. It recedes into dust as a few orbs of EXP had taken its place. When you turn around, you see Sapnap pushing George off in front of him in an attempt to get him to move. He passes by you as you turn back to run with them towards the village. Thanks for having my back, player one. Okay. I don't remember that little bit happening. Dream turns around. Are you guys okay? All three of you nodded in response. Alright, then come on. We're almost there. Okay, you all hobbled over to the nearby village. Dream had shoved a random door open and ushered all of you inside, breaking any lever or button nearby the entrance to ensure that no other mob could get in. He really didn't have to, but it was better safe than sorry. Yes, sir. Dream then sighed as everyone attempted to catch their breath. Anyone hurt badly or anything? Nope, we good. You, George, and Sapnap glanced at each other for a minute before shaking your heads all together. Great. Dream sighs in relief before glancing at the iron golem doing its job to protect its village through the window. Well, it seems like we're in a library. Might as well make most of our time here and rest up until daylight comes back. Dream and Sapnap nodded at this. Dream continued to stay nearby the door, keeping watch of the mobs outside. Sapnap had decided to sit by the staircase to the upper floor of the library. George had already gone up to check out the many books on the shelves. Okay. You took this as a time to breathe and venture around. Okay. So... Okay, we could still go for books. I'm gonna go with books. Okay. You headed upstairs and you wanted to see what the library had in store for you. Hearing your footsteps approaching, George sees you standing at the top of the stairs. Player one. He smiles at you as he puts a book back in the shelf. You questioned him as to why he did that, as he seemed quite interested in it. Oh, it was nothing, really. You don't buy it one bit, but you let it slide. You stood next to him as you peered at the multiple books with the enchantment table language engraved on their spines. Your fingers brush against the leather before George clears his throat. So, books. You like books too? Takes my mind off of some things. I'm just assuming that if I go with, like, the lesser-ish options, if you will, then it'll be better. Some things take too much of a toll in the real world, so you turn to the compiled pages and immerse yourself into it. George nods along. Things can get out of hand, don't they? If you'd like, I'd give you some recommendations once we're out of here. Yay. Dream and Sapnap aren't exactly into the genres I like, so maybe you'd like them. You smiled at him, and he smiled back. Okay. Guys! Okay. There we go. Sun's out. Let's go and loot this place. Yes, sir. Everyone assembled themselves nearby the entrance of the library. Main focus is to find more iron. If you guys find enough, craft a shield for each of you. Oh, there's where the shield go in. Okay. I'll look for a furnace and smelt the ones I've mined. I'll keep an eye out for more too. And look for food too. We'll be needing more of it later on. Everyone nods and headed off into various directions. You enter a nearby house to be greeted by a villager who stares at you for a moment before leaving the structure. You shook your head at the random encounter before climbing up the stairs to see a chest in the corner. I'm seeing, like, a lot of those, like, random things happening more. This is, okay, that's a little odd. Opening it, you are greeted by four pieces of bread, 2 iron ingots, and an apple. Smiling, you stash all of them into your inventory before heading out. Okay. You met up with Sapnap and George as they both emerged from a nearby house. George approaches you. He gives you a shield and an iron pickaxe to replace your stone one. You noted that he was able to make enough for everyone. Nice. Turning around to the sound of footsteps approaching, you see Dream returning with more iron ingots and a bunch of buckets in his hands. Water buckets, right. George also made his way to the blonde, handing him his share of the new iron assets. Dream nodded at him in thanks. Nice! Alright, Sapnap? How many obsidian blocks were in the chest? Sapnap pondered for a bit. I think there were 2. Dream glances down at the buckets he had with him and handed a few over to George. Alright, George, you go and get water. I'll go ahead and get some lava. Sapnap, I'll stay here and light the new portal up. Right. You stay here and light the new portal up. Great. Dream bounds off to the opposite direction while George walks to the nearby brook. Sapnap walks down the path towards the ruined portal area. Who do you want to catch up to? Should I spread it out a bit? I reckon I should spread it out a bit. Like, I should like, interact with different people. And then maybe it'll work better. You decided to walk down the path, following Sapnap to the portal. He nods at you whilst you take a seat on your nearby grass block, mirroring him. You both sat in silence for a bit as you waited for the others to return. After a while, Sapnap speaks up. His face seemed serious and it made you worry quite a bit, as you're much used to the cheery expression that had stayed much more constant on his features. So, what are you looking forward to? Like, what do you want to get out of this? Oh, you take in his question and ponder for a bit. I mean, I don't know. You sway your legs back and forth as you couldn't bring up a proper answer. You decided to settle on shrugging your shoulders and didn't really want to expect much of anything. Sapnap sighs at this, though it wasn't in a negative light. Yeah, I don't know either too. I shouldn't get way ahead of myself with these kinds of things. We'll deal with the problems the moment they come, right? You nodded. The H is capitalized. There isn't any point in shaking yourself up for a possible situation that won't even happen after a while. Some things are better dealt with as it comes your way. Yeah, I agree. Just go with the flow. Sapnap inhales deeply in an attempt to calm himself before having a tiny smile on his face. Okay. He continues to toss his flint and steel up one more time until you both turn towards the sound of footsteps that were arriving at your area. I still am seeing, like, those, like, smaller details of things that happen, because, like, beforehand, it would just brush right over it. You guys got the stuff? Everyone raises their needed item, confirming that they all had what they needed. Dream smiles at this before beginning to call George to his side to help complete the portal altogether. You stood by the side as the 3 other members had grouped up together to speed up the portal building process. Once they were all finished, Sapnap flicked the stone in his possession and flared the new nether portal to life. And then, okay. The 4 of you grinned at the successes of your first half of the plan. Sapnap then glances around to everyone else. So, is everyone ready? Dream points to George. Wear your helmet, George. Oh, yeah. George quickly applies the helmet and gave out a 2 thumbs up. We're ready. Sapnap nods and you all usher over to the line of blocks right before the portal. You inhale deeply and exhale slowly and attempt to calm your nerves before entering the portal. You peer over to the side to see the other 3 doing the same. Dream then began to count. On 3. 1, 2, 3. As Sapnap shouted, all 4 of you had jumped into the portal at the same time. Okay. I'm thinking that maybe, like, the code might be in, like, those smaller details that it's, like, adding in as of now. We'll see. Maybe it'll be obvious. After feeling light for a split second as you thread through the 2 different worlds, you feel gravity pulling you down as you enter a warmer surrounding. You decided to take a step down from the obsidian platform. With the disorientation catching up to you, you had fallen onto your knees and clutched your head. Great. Teleporting from one world to another isn't exactly as fun as it seemed. The other 3 had simultaneously groaned as they landed. Yeah, hopefully we're never doing this again. I second that. Shaking his head, Dream stood up and batted away the netherrack dust that had gotten all over him from the fall. You and the other 2 had followed his lead and did the same. Dream gazes around the view of the endlessly dripping lava, trying to let the scene sink in. The Nether. Okay. You can hear the dread in Dream's voice, and you were about to approach him about it before he turned around with a stern look on his face. Exactly. Like, see, like, he doesn't talk to you for some reason. Gather a bunch of netherrack, we'll all need it. You all nodded and split off, and you bounded off to the side, creating a small strip mine to easily gather a big amount of the nearby material. As you mined away, you heard a loud gasp echo from outside the cave. Is this a DSMP ref? Oh shoot, I forgot to change the freaking title and stuff. Oh my gosh, hold on. Oops. My bad, give me a minute, okay. So... Okay. And then I'm gonna change... Okay, the go live notification doesn't matter anymore, so I'm just going to update the title, and hopefully that'll... Oh, wait, I gotta change it back to Lovehunt. And call it good. Okay, I think that's good. Alright. Bestie, hello. Oh, so... Hi! Oh my gosh! Oh, it's been a little bit. Hi! How are you? How you doing, by the way? I'm doing great. We're trying to get the platonic or rejection route, so maybe my heart will be broken later. I have no idea. Anyway, guys. The fortress, it's right here. You raise your eyebrows in surprise. It was just near spawn? That's so lucky. You hurriedly mine a bit before netherrack, a bit more netherrack before running outside, catching up to Sapnap, who had evidently done the exact same. I hope you're doing well, though, Cyberlinks. Do you want me to just call you Cyber? Does that work? Nice find, Goggy. George seemingly cringes at the nickname, but was cut off from reacting due to the fact that Dream had ruffled his hair. Dream, follows... Oh, wait. Everyone follows George's lead towards the structure. As your group approaches the nether brick walls, everyone took turns in using their bundles of netherrack to maneuver up an entrance. I'll be doing my homework while listening to you. Okay, that works. Wee me poggers. Alright. You're just gonna hear me panic and whatnot. This is going to be fantastic. As you helped each other up the ledge, George gasps as a wither skeleton attacked him. He had managed to bring up his shield in time to block it. George! I'm fine. Let's just go. He shoves the mob back as everyone darted off to the opposite direction. Pardon me. Dream points towards a nearby blaze spawner, calling Sapnap to his side. As they both began to farm for the needed blaze rods, George was busy defending the area from the other mobs that have followed you. Great. The two different mobs began to multiply as time passed, and you knew you had to help out somehow. We're going with George, because he's alone. You bounded over to George as quick as you can, swinging your axe at nearby wither skeletons before shoving the others away with your own shield. George looks at you in surprise. Okay. Player one, you... But he was cut off when two more skeletons had bumped against him. You reprimanded him, saying that it wasn't for the right time to complain about your split-second choices. He silently nodded, working on defending the other two as they handled each other's sides. We have enough. Let's go. You all fought your way through the fortress grounds and went to the nearby netherrack field. As you dashed through the terrain, you noticed Dream and the others weren't heading for the other portal. Oh, right. You racked your brain as you wondered why, but remembered that you needed the easiest and quickest way that you all could think of for obtaining ender pearls. Freaking dang. And that was through piglin trading. You all looked for a biome that had enough mobs that were available for trading. Dream hollers over to you guys to dig up a hole to surround at least 2 or 3 piglins. George passes his golden helmet over to Dream as he tosses gold ingots towards the hog-like humanoids, leading them to the hole you all made. With no gold to pass the piglins' tastes, the others have begun to run toward everyone else. What? Sapnap was on one end of the pit, fighting against 2 ghasts that have simultaneously spawned. George was on the other end, fending off other piglins and a few wither skeletons that had followed your group. Dream, make it quick! I'm trying! Dream! Uh... Fight gas. Gas are scary. Okay, making up your mind, you decided to rush towards Sapnap's side. One of the ghasts have launched a fireball right towards the brunette. You managed to be quicker enough to swing it back with your axe. The fireball missed the levitating mob, but Sapnap thanked you nonetheless. I knew I could count on you, player one. There we go. You grinned as you both focused on the one ghast each. It took you 4 tries to hit the mob back, while it took Sapnap 2. Nice. After defeating both of them, you gave each other a quick high five. Nice. But shortly after, you both saw that more guests were coming your way. Everything began to overwhelm you, from the amount of mobs surrounding all of you to the huge amount of pressure you're feeling right now. Sapnap began to call out, a peeved tone seeping out of his voice. Dream! Dream rolled his eyes. Let's go, this way. He was visibly irritated that he was pressured, but hopefully everyone would just shrug it off. Okay. You all bolted towards the right direction to the portal, the one you finally recognized, and gasped in relief when you spotted the familiar purple particles flaring into the air. Dream reaches it first, not entering the vortex, and instead opted out to take a swing at an approaching aggressive piglin mob. Get in, now! Without a second thought, Sapnap and George had entered the portal, their bodies slowly disappearing into the overworld the longer they stayed in. You glanced back at Dream and hesitated. You didn't want to leave him behind. Dream frowned at you. Okay, go! When you didn't budge, Dream had instead pushed you through the portal. See, I'm telling you, I never get an interaction with that man. When he came to, your first reaction was to frantically check your surroundings for your other companions. We're here, player one, we're here. Great. Great. From behind you, you hear Sapnap and George seemingly out of breath. The older of the two was lying on his back, whilst the other was seated on a nearby grass block and wiping the sweat from his chin. George's voice wavered when he spoke up. Where's Dream? Your heart sank when you had to explain what happened before you teleported back into the overworld. They both frowned at this. Of course he would. We have to go back, see if he's still in there. We need to help him. Before their argument could get any bigger, Dream had suddenly appeared into the overworld. He landed onto the grass with a harsh thud. Dream! You all rushed over to his side, to which he waved off. Both Sapnap and George helped him up onto his feet. I'm fine. Health check, guys? You all warily nodded before looking up to your own health bars. George says that he has 4 left. You and Sapnap have the same amount of 3. Dream had only half a heart. Nice. Sapnap frowned as George crossed his arms. What happened to being careful, Dream? Dream... That scared me. Dream waves him off as he pulled out a piece of bread to replenish his hunger and to regen. All that matters is that we're fine. It was our first and hopefully last time in the Nether. Of course it ended up messy. You were about to hand him your golden apple, but he noticed and stopped you from doing so. I told you, you'll need it more than I do. How does freak do we know that? You frowned but didn't push. You stashed it back into your inventory as Sapnap approached him to craft Eyes of Ender. As they successfully crafted a few, Dream flicked one up. It slowly rises and leans towards one direction before ultimately plunging to the ground. The blonde catches it right before it lands and double-checks if it's snapped into 2. Well, we have our lead. Let's go. Alright. You all then fell into step with each other. The walk was quiet, save for the occasional clinking of the ender eyes that came from Dream. It was a bit too quiet for your liking. Check up on who. We're going with George, because we're just going to switch on and off for these. You slowed your pace down to match with George's, who was situated on the very end of your little line of follow the leader. The color... They described him as colorblind! No! The colorblind male had been munching on his share of bread, effectively replenishing his health. He nods as he swallows his recent bite. I'm all good, player one. Thanks for asking. Do you need anything? The only food I've seen you wield was the gapple from way earlier. You shook your head, letting him know that you have your own stash of foods. Yes, sir. A little bit of silence filled the space between you two before George spoke up this time. So, do you have any questions, like, in general? I just figured that since you've been with us the entire time, might as well get to know each other a bit more. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go with what got you guys into this mess, because I think it was like hinting toward George, because George is the coder, right? I think it was like hinting towards George doing something wrong. I'm curious. It was a question that had stayed in your mind ever since you fell into the realm. How did all of this even start? George seemed to not anticipate this question, since his cheeks and ears were tinged with rosy pink. Yep, it was his fault. He embarrassed about that. Yup, it's him. It was kind of my fault. Oh, now I feel bad. It was an error in the code that we were trying out right then. I activated it before Dream told me to, just to check if it would work properly, then all of a sudden we woke up in this world. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't have tested— Oh. He sheepishly answered, regret lacing his voice. You reassure him that whatever he had done, it wasn't his fault. It was just a weird glitch in the system that had transported all of you into the game. No person can actually pull that off intentionally. How did glitch in code manage to do that? I'm suspicious that it has something to do with XD, who you'll see at the end of this route. Doesn't matter what route it is, but like still. George looks at you properly before giving you a small smile as he understood your intentions. He thanks you, but his voice was as low as a whisper. Oh, I feel bad now. Curiosity got the best of me, though. Everyone stopped walking when Dream halted in his tracks. It's down here. He announces as he whipped out his pickaxe, beginning to mine a way through the ground. George and Sapnap had gone to do the same thing on either side of him, so you decided to follow through and mimic their actions in front of the hole Dream made. Right, I'm gonna grab a drink of water after this. You continued to dig deeper. Oh, not even paying attention to something, and then you ended up falling. I can tell. Player 1. You dealt a bit of damage to yourself thanks to your clumsiness. Dream had safely landed with a water MLG, and so did George. Although he let his water spread around for a bit to let Sapnap land safely in. Holy crap. You're gonna give us a heart attack, Player 1. Be careful next time. You let out a sheepish chuckle as you pulled out an apple from your inventory and proceeded to munch on it to regen. You all took a better look at which part of the stronghold you guys were located in. You all realized you were in the middle of it with 3 pathways. The end portal, the library, and a way to another hallway. Sapnap lets out a huff. Huh, lucky. You patted off the remaining dirt of your clothes as Dream began going towards the portal rooms, getting rid of the silverfish spawner before starting on filling in the gaps of the portal itself. Sapnap scratches its head before heading off into the empty hallway that led to an iron door. I'll go over here and check if there's any stuff I can grab before we enter. Same, I'll check over here. You were then left to your own devices yet again. Go with whom? We're going towards the library because this is the platonic route for George. You took the left path, or maybe rejection, I don't know, entering the iron door and following the older male. As you entered the room, you were greeted by tall rows of bookshelves filled to the brim. Hearing the clink of an iron door closing behind you, George called out from the corner of the room. I'm right here. Nice. You followed the sound of his voice leading you to him as he closed a chest. He proceeded to sit on it. I don't remember. Anyway, just a compass and a few blank pages, nothing useful. He mutters out with a little, oh yeah, and then proceeded to bring out his crafting table and seemingly created a bow along with some arrows. A moment of silence had seeped into your conversation before he called out to you. Player 1? Yes? You looked to him. He seemed a bit nervous and flustered. I figured that maybe this will be the last time we'll be able to talk in a calmer matter, let's say. So, I just wanted to admit something, Player 1. I think you're really amazing. I hope I don't, like, overwhelm you or anything. I just wanted to let you know that. I really want to see what happens when I say thank you for the dodo. Okay, the last one's kind of rude, not gonna lie. But I'm gonna have to pick that at some point. I'm gonna say thank you for the dono because, yeah. Oh my gosh. He throws his head back in laughter at your response. That's such a dumb joke. You both snickered at the reference you've made. George looks at you properly. Yeah, I'm really glad we're friends. Okay, glad we're friends. Okay. So it is the platonic route. Here we freaking go. Okay, we got this. You simply grinned at him. He mirrors your expression. He hops off the chest. Let's head back. I'm pretty sure Sapnap calmed his nerves and Dreams finished up the portal by now. You nodded and followed his lead out of the chamber. There we go. As everyone started to regroup, the quiet humming of the finished end portal echoes out. Nervously, Sapnap speaks. Any encouraging words before we hop in? Okay. Now I can safely just turn to George. When George meets your gaze, his face was slightly tinted pink. Me? You want me to... All three of you had simply encouraged him with smiles on your faces. George sighs, shaking his head a bit before looking back at you, all with a smile of his own. Alright then. I know most of this was my fault, but there's no time to dwell on that now. What matters is that we're close to what's probably the solution, and that we'll all be able to escape this realm and return back home. Okay. Everyone had given each other affirming glances, reassuring one another that they're ready before staring down towards the black vortex. You grippled on the axe. You gripped on the axe and shield you were wielding, your nerves making you feel all jittery. Oh dear. Okay. This is where, like, quick decisions is gonna come in. On 3, Sapnap shakily breathes. 1, 2, and everyone began to run up. 3! You braced yourself as the discomfort of teleporting began to set in. You covered your mouth as you landed onto the obsidian platform, trying to get a hold of yourself. I am still trying to get a hold of myself in real life here. George shakes his head as he checks on everyone right after landing. Player 1, are you okay? You waved him off, coughing as you do so. Nice. It doesn't particularly convince him, but he trusts you enough to regain your balance yourself. Dream and Sapnap seem to have gotten used to the feeling of teleporting as they appeared fine. You struggled to get back on your feet as they began to build their way towards the center of the island where the dragon was situated. You got yourself on your feet and caught up to them. You're gonna hear the dragon roar in a little bit, so I'm warning you now. Go ahead and push towards the dragon. I'll take care of the ender crystals. Make every shot count, George. Of course. Oh. He runs off to the sides as he already begun aiming at the top of the pillars. Dream turns to you. Me and Sapnap will go ahead and land attacks on the ender dragon. You steer clear from her, alright? Kill some endermen and grab the portals they drop so you can filter them to us or use them for yourself if you have to flee. You oblige, staying in the outer ring of the island as the two childhood friends rush towards the middle. You dared to make eye contact with the tall, void-like mobs to aggravate them. I forgot the Endermen had noises. It proved effective as they began to open their mouths, their irritating buzzing getting louder as they launched themselves at your shield. You shoved them away and attempted to land hits on them whilst taking caution of any of their attacks that managed to get too near to you. After taking at least 2 hits from the mob, you counted the amount of ender pearls you've gained whilst eating some bread to regenerate your health. Seeing that you've gotten quite a lot, you quickly jumped to the middle to throw some to Dream and Sapnap. Thanks, player 1. Sapnap manages to catch all of it, tossing the other half towards the blonde who had just landed his water MLG. After a few more minutes of combat, it seemed that the Ender Dragon's health had depleted until halfway. George had done his job of shooting all the healing crystals. Great. You were busy looking around for the older male while the dragon had launched a fireball near you. You had only heard a soft thudding sound, and before you knew it, you were surrounded by purple particles that began to burn you. Player 1, use an Ender Pearl. Get out of there! You fumble over the items in your inventory, finally stumbling over the sphere-like object and throwing it away to somewhere safer. Your breath was shaking and in short puffs as you teleported. You looked up at your health bar and to see you had 2.5 hearts left. Player 1, are you okay? You wanted to reassure them that you're fine, even a wave of your hand, but the required effort to do such was too much for you and ended up making you feel a lot more lightheaded. George, we need you! Being the nearest one to you, George glances back to you worriedly. You shook your head in an attempt to tell him to go help the others. George furrowed his eyebrows together before turning away and ran towards the middle. I'm right here. We need your help in keeping the dragon away from player 1. Got it. Right. Dream was the sole person out of everyone in your group to have experienced being on half a heart, and you were close. To say it hurt was sugarcoating it. You felt excruciating pain as your heart tried to make up for the blood that you have lost from the recent situation. As you breathed heavily, you fiddled around for the golden apple that had stayed in your inventory the entire time. The last time you glanced at the dragon's health bar, it was nearly finished. Just a few critical hits and it would be over. You sighed as you took your time, finally being able to fish it out from all your belongings. There's the roar. You were about to eat it when you heard the bellowing noise from above. The Ender Dragon was coming right at you. Player 1. Okay. You froze up and shut your eyes as you braced yourself for what was about to happen. You heard the noise of a hit. You didn't feel any pain. You opened your eyes and saw... Cookie! George, who had his boat up and fired his last arrow at the dragon that had only been one hit away. The dragon screeches as it levitates up, light protruding its body as it slowly disintegrates into the specks of particles and EXP points. And right then, a sound effect echoes from George himself. George Not Found had made the achievement free the end. Let's go! Everything was silent before all three of them began to whoop loudly. Oh my gosh, George, you did it! Yeah, that's our boy! George then lifted into the air by the two, the male himself laughing loudly as they all cheered. After a whole while of being stunned, you let out your share of giggles. The boys turned around as they heard you laugh. Their faces softened as they lowered the older male down, approaching you. Dream and Sapnap helped you up to their feet, and George passes you the golden apple you dropped. Be careful with your things next time, okay, player 1? He smiles at you as you nodded, your face flushing at your clumsiness last minute that had caused you to be endangered in the first place. You mutter a small thanks whilst proceeding to nibble at the fruit, to which his smile grew sweeter at. Alright, let's go home, guys. Dream hollers out. Sapnap approaches him, slinging his arm around him in some weird side hug. They both laughed as they made their way towards the middle. You, on the other hand, had taken slow strides beside George. He seemed to have noticed that you felt nervous. Hey, it'll be okay. We'll be back home once we enter the portal. His tone was soft, comforting. You were thankful for him understanding your feelings as you both made your way to the portal. You all stared down at the black swirling vortex with particles swirling around, mixing with hints of teal. On 3. Everyone grinned at him. 1, 2, 3! And there we go. You woke up on your bedroom floor, clutching at your throbbing head. It seemed that you had fallen over your chair. You hear your phone buzzing from your desk. Groaning, you crawled over to check what your notifications were going off for. For the first few spams, it had been from your friends as you were apparently late for your Hypixel game together with them. The most recent one was, George Not Found went live, fixing my chair. George Not Found, George, Minecraft, The Realm. You quickly press the notification, the stream's audio booming out of your phone's speakers. Sorry guys, I know we were supposed to be doing a Minecraft challenge right now, but our connection did some sort of blip and now my chair is wrecked. The chat roars in laughter, finding it hilarious that he had fallen off his chair to the point of breaking it. Wow, chat, you guys aren't feeling nice tonight, huh? Your heartbeat raising, you impulsively sent a dono to try and catch his attention. He stops holding the pieces that belonged to his chair to check the donation. Okay, who just donoed thank you for the dono? You think you're so funny, huh? George stopped himself when he read your username. Player 1. Oh, there's a question mark. Player 1? Hold on, DM me on Twitter. Do you have the same user? Yes, I do. You had to be quick. You knew how fast people can be taking names and usernames and impersonating people. You immediately transferred to Twitter, the stream turning into a picture-in-picture form and situating itself at the bottom corner of your phone, and sent him a message. George, it's me. Do you remember everything? The Minecraft realm, the library, the Ender Dragon? Your heart rate picks up as you anxiously wait for a response. You hope you were quick enough. You heard his quick typing from his stream as the chat zoomed by with your name combined with a bunch of question marks asking who you were. And then suddenly someone joined the call. Dream, George, what the heck are you doing? It's Player 1. What do you mean it's Player 1? Mute your mic on stream, you idiot. The audio from both Dream and George's mic have been silenced, and then suddenly you have a notification beep from Twitter. Hey! I remember you, Player 1. Oh, that smiley face haunts me. Do you want to hang out on Minecraft later after I fix my chair? Maybe do a challenge and record it? You hesitated, remembering what he said. Immediately, he added another response. I'll proofread the code next time, don't worry. Oh, that's why. Ouch. I'll do it 2, 3 times. Even get Dream and Sapnap to do it. You let out an amused chuckle as you typed in a reply. It's okay, George. Of course I'll play with you after the stream. Again, that smile absolutely haunts me. Oh, cool. Okay, cool. Can't wait. Nice. You smiled so widely that your eyes shut, bringing your phone close to your chest. Great. You can't wait for the challenge. Platonic end, Minecraft, but you were found. Where the freak was XD that time? I'm suspicious because he did not pop up. He did not pop up, and I don't like that. I mean, I know I do not. I know I have trust issues with that little floating blob hacker. But now that, now that they changed it up on me, I'm not sure I like it. Okay. So. Okay. Right. So that was the platonic ending for George. Actually, okay. Okay. Would you guys mind if I talk about a little Dream SMP theory for a moment? Because I have some stuff to talk about on that. Oh my Hannah. And I really want to get this out to somebody, and I just remembered about this theory, and if you guys are down for it, then I'll tell you guys about it. Give me 1 second. As I wait for a reply, I'm just gonna drink some water real quick. Okay. I got me water. And we are good. So, actually, here, let me turn the music down because I feel like it might. I'm gonna turn down the volume a little bit. It might be really quiet, but like that's the point because okay. So let's go back. And then, okay. So, my theory on this matter is that, so, y'all know how like Rambo has been like ender walking and whatnot, and how he's like been seeing all of these things in like as he's just doing like his normal day-to-day stuff. Like obviously he's mentioned like experiments and whatnot, and clearly nobody knows anything about that. I'm gonna be honest, when I first heard about experiments, I thought that I just missed a lore stream, which honestly I would not be surprised at, but apparently nobody has heard about experiments and whatnot. And we clearly don't know like what is happening in those experiments and if anybody is helping with those experiments. But he's been remembering like lessons that are presumably being written in the fourth book, which is the book that it like records all of the bad stuff that he's done, just so that he like remembers it still, right? But he's lost the fourth book, so we don't know who is writing that book in that book, and like what are the lessons for, or like who is writing the lessons. And a lot of people are thinking that this is still like, obviously this is all roleplay, right? This is all roleplay stuff, but a lot of people are thinking that Dream is still behind all of this, right? And I am not quite sure, how I feel about that idea. Because, well, first off, Dream has been locked up in prison, like, for a good while. Dream has been locked up in prison for a good couple months at this point. And he's not some sort of god or wizard or anything. Like, he there's no way for him to, like, actually be able to do those kinds of things, to be able to control people from the prison. Like, there's just I don't think it's Dream. I don't think Dream is the main bad guy anymore. And when I pointed that out, people were like, "Oh, well, maybe it's the Dreamin'. Maybe it's the Dreamin', like, possessing Ranboo or whatever." Here's the thing. The Dreamin', where's the evidence for that? The Dreamin', in my opinion, is merely something to explain the unexplainable. That's all it is to me. There's no evidence to support the fact that the Dreamin' exists, let alone is possessing people. Like, I genuinely think that Roleplay Dream is just straight up becoming a psychopath. I don't think that he's being possessed by anyone. I just think that he's just straight up psycho. He's just crazy. And there's no way for him to be able to control Ranboo anymore with his Enderwalking state or whatever, because he's locked away. And also, Ranboo's not allowed in the prison anymore, so he is not even able to go see Dream and maybe get more instructions or whatever. Dream also doesn't have, like, any books of there's no way that he has the 4th book, because he lost the 4th book a while ago. Not to mention, Sam probably went through, like, his chest and whatnot to, like, make sure that he still has nothing that could help him. And, I just don't think it's possible for Dream to be the bad guy anymore. And that begs the question, if it's not Dream or this supposed Dreamin' that's controlling Ranboo in his Enderwalking state, then what is controlling Ranboo in the Enderwalking state? And I believe that the answer to that question is that it's Quackity. I think it's Quackity that's behind all of this stuff. And the reason why I say this, I mean, like, I get that a lot of people are gonna be like, well, why would Quackity do such a thing? Like, why would Quackity control somebody else? The real question here is, why wouldn't he? He made Las Nevadas and he built an entire country that was basically supposed to allow him, Sapnap, Carl, and George to have total economic power over the entire server. That was the point of the casino, and he wanted to share that power, that success, with his friends, with his fiancés even. And I'm sitting here, I mean, well, we all know how that went, though. Because Dream, Carl, and George, Carl, George, and Sapnap all built a country of their own together without Quackity, without even telling Quackity, even though they thought they did. So, well, technically, they're not necessarily in the wrong, they're not necessarily in the right either, but it's not, like, purposefully in the wrong. But point is, they just left Quackity behind. Like, Quackity is no longer considered a friend in Quackity's mind. Like, Quackity genuinely thinks that they just don't care about him anymore, and so now he's just done with them, basically. Like, He could have still, like, gone over to Kanoko Kingdom, the country that they're building, and, like, visited George and visited George and Sapnap and Coral. No, he was devastated, and he genuinely thought that he was abandoned. And so that just leaves him to get all the power for himself. And obviously, he has gotten advice from Wilbur back at the presidential election of how to make a change, basically. That was the point. But to make it, basically, the advice that Wilbur gave him was that in order to make a change, Quackity, was that Quackity, needed power. And in order to get that power, you need to, quote from Wilbur, kill, to maim, and to torture. Might not be in the correct order, but still. And now you see Quackity, he is following through with that advice. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's being very methodical with what he's doing too. And he is an opportunist. Quackity is a huge opportunist, actually. And, like, I'll get into the opportunist kind of thing later, but not to mention, he also has a very businessman-like mindset. And being somebody who also has that mindset, I know that means that quite literally the phrase time is money is taken very seriously, which means that if you have something going on or something that'll be, like, taken as distracting or something, considered distracting, then that could result in you losing opportunities. And if you lose opportunities, then you won't be able to achieve the goal that you want to achieve for your business or just goal in general. That's the business mindset. You want to know your goal and then know the direct way to get to the goal. And if there's new opportunities to get to that goal, you take those opportunities as soon as they come. And once again, I'm going to, like, touch on that a little bit later. But another thing about Quackity is that he's literally a law student. He knows exactly what he's doing in terms of, like, talking with people and, like, you know, evidence and, like the finer lines in things. Like, he is super good at reading the fine lines and things, and he's also good at manipulating those fine lines, and, like, contracts would be an example. I don't know if he made a contract with anyone, but he would, if he wanted to go for, like, a specific thing, then he would maybe make the statement very broad, so that way that specific thing falls under there. So maybe if you were to make a deal with somebody, say, then all you can okay. Here's an example of, like, reading the fine lines and things. Like, if you were to apply at a job or something, and they go, in the job description, it's a great place to adapt and grow, that could mean, within the fine lines, that you're just going to get all of the extra work shoved onto you, and it's going to be horrible. But of course, they don't want to say that, right? They want you to think that it's something that has something in it for you. And technically, it falls under that, because you are forced to adapt to all of the work that they shove onto you and grow as a result from it. Like, technically, they're not wrong. They have not lied at all. But at the same time, like, you obviously weren't expecting that. Quackity can manipulate things like that if he really wanted to. And he, like, people noticed that when he first visited Dream in the prison, when he started signing the contracts, he knows what the contracts were asking of him. He knows exactly what was going on there. But he purposefully, I think, signed them wrong. The man is a law student, once again. He knows what would consider it a properly signed contract versus improperly. And if he improperly signs the contract, then technically the contract can't go into effect. No one can have power over him if he signs a contract incorrectly. And I want to get back into Ranboo at this point, because Ranboo and his lessons. If you have not seen the lore stream, I will fill you in just like briefly, so there's like a tad bit of spoilers going on. I will warn you right now. But there's a tad bit of spoilers, and basically what happened in Ranboo's stream was Ranboo was he was just doing his thing, really. But out of nowhere, okay, basically he was getting a tour from Foolish for his mansion, and during that, out of nowhere, like a message appears on the screen. Obviously only Ranboo could see it, where it was like a lesson. These lessons like were instructions of things that Ranboo should or shouldn't do. And the first lesson was okay, I can't remember the number, but the first lesson was basically if you have the opportunity to gain a favor, then take it. That's basically what the lesson was. And obviously Quackity, as I established, is an opportunist. People to do the same thing, because especially if they're helping him. If they're helping him, then he wants them to have the same mindset. He wants them to be very efficient with their time and efficient with opportunities and get every opportunity that they can get. So, there is so much to this, but like, it literally says if there is so much as an opportunity for a favor, get the opportunity. And that kind of leads, well, I don't know if it leads to the next lesson, but the next lesson, though, was do not reminisce on what you have lost, for it will weigh you down. And I established earlier that Quackity has gone through so many losses, and I've already mentioned Dream, yeah, technically Dream, but not as much. I don't think they had the best ties in the world even then. But Sapnap and Carl were huge ones for him. Like, he was literally fiancés with them. Sapnap and Carl ditched him for another country. Carl was supposed to tell Quackity that they were building another country, but he didn't. And according to George, which is another person that he lost in the process, according to George, Carl had said that he told Quackity, when in reality, nobody told Quackity. That was the first time that he's ever heard of such a thing. So, like, he knows exactly what it's like to lose someone. And on top of that, during like the presidential arc and whatnot, on top of that, he's seen Schlatt die. He literally watched him die, and he had a relationship with him. And obviously that was hard on him. Like, obviously that would like force him to be weighed down. It's like that. And another thing is that Dream has never dwelled on anything that he's lost. That's literally what makes him crazy. And Quackity learned the lesson of don't dwell on things, otherwise it'll weigh you down, the hard way. He learned that lesson the hard way. And now he knows that he shouldn't dwell on the loss now, because again, time is money and they need all the time that they can get. And now he's just going to tell that off to Ranboo. And the biggest and my kind of personal favorite lesson, because I could talk about this a lot, is lesson 53, never fully trust anyone. Now, I don't think many people remember this, but Quackity has literally said that before, word for word. And that lesson popped up in the exact location that Quackity said that to Ranboo, actually. Ranboo's lesson of never fully trust anyone popped up in the exact location that Quackity first told Ranboo that he should never trust anyone. And I think it's it's like too coincidental for it to be passed by without question, honestly. But like, once again, going back to the fine lines, it says never fully trust anyone. Like, yeah, you should have some trust in people, but you have to take precaution. You have to be aware of things that they may or may not be doing. And if you have no trust, then you can't build relationships with one another. And Quackity has been building relations with people such as Sam. And if Quackity didn't trust Sam at all, then that relationship, that advantage, those opportunities that came from that relationship with Sam would not be able to happen. And since these relationships help achieve goals and get people places, that again ties into like efficiency, and time is money, all of that. And next up is lesson 67. Leave no evidence of what you have helped with. Once again, this man is a law student. Not to mention, have there been times where there's been evidence that someone's helped out before? Well, look at Tubbo. Quackity's own former companion while Schlatt was president, Tubbo was super sloppy. Let's be honest, he was super sloppy. Not only, like Quackity was literally there to see how sloppy Tubbo freaking was. And not only taking into account the fact that he's a law student, but he's learning from other people's mistakes. And you know what they say, the wisest people learn from others' mistakes. It's not really the biggest lesson, like, out of the lessons that we've seen with Ranboo's stream, but I think it's very well worth noting. And last but not least, we have lesson 94. In all caps, it says, "Do not let them know what you have done." Of course, we can't have Ranboo finding out and, well, like, what he's done in the Enderwalk state and having him tell everyone, can't we? Quackity knows that there was a flaw in his plan, that Ranboo might figure out what's actually going on and then tell everyone. And he had to fix it somehow, and so that's what the purpose of lesson 94 was. But I also want to note that at the time, on the very day of that lore stream, this is lesson 94. And how many days has Dream been in prison? Exactly 94. That was the 94th day. And so I reckon that it could be a lesson a day. Also, remember how Ranboo did actually try to tell Sam what he's done before. Like, he went up to Sam, basically begged to, like, be admitted to prison as an inmate. And then Ranboo just goes, "You don't understand, and then cut himself off. Like, he was getting really he was super frantic, so he was like, "You don't understand, I blew," or, "You don't know what germ," like, you know, he was frustrated. You could tell he was frustrated with himself because of that kind of voice that he did. And we've seen that kind of thing happen before, not in the SMP, but in the show called Steven Universe. And basically what happens is, like, I don't know if you guys have seen Steven Universe, but Steven Universe is basically a show about, there are two, I guess, species, if you will. There's humans, and then there's gems, is what they're called. And basically it's like every gemstone, but like if they had like a specific purpose or specific, like, personality, and they each look different and whatnot. And diamonds, the different kinds of diamonds would be like the head. They would be like the most powerful people there. But the pearls would be like the diamond's servants. And so whatever the diamonds like commanded of the pearls like are literally forced to obey. They literally cannot disobey. And basically what happened was, like, and this is major spoilers for Steven Universe, but what happened was Pink Diamond was the least powerful diamond of like all of the 4 diamonds. It was white, yellow, and blue, and pink. And basically Pink Diamond wanted to stay on Earth because Earth was a beautiful planet, and originally she was supposed to colonize that planet and just basically destroy the entire planet to make a bunch of gems. She wanted to preserve the planet, and so she basically disguised herself as rose quartz and faked her own death, faked that rose quartz killed her. And before that, basically her pearl helped with faking her death, and you could hear like something that she said to Pearl right before they pulled that stunt was, quote, "My last order as a diamond, we must never speak of this again." They, like, literally, Pearl cannot talk about it again. And I guess in a way that was her last lesson, quote unquote, lesson to Rainbow. But she then goes to say, "No one can know." And honestly, literally, the lesson literally itself says, "Do not let them know what you have done." No one can know, basically. But whenever Pearl tries to tell Steven, the main character in the movie, what happened about Rose Quartz, about Pink Diamond and all that, she hecking claps her hand over her mouth when she tries to say what happened, which is exactly, if not very similarly, what happened with Ranboo. Like, they both really, really want to tell the other person that they're talking to. They both basically say the same thing. They really want to tell them, but they can't. And they just go, "I can't tell you." They literally cannot. And, like, allow me to point out, and I'm nearing the end of this rant. I'm nearing the end of this, I promise. But allow me to point out that since it was the 94th day, that last lesson cut to a scene where it was actually written down in the book. And I think it's because Quackity recently wrote it. Yeah. But that was the end of that lore stream. And we've seen like Ranboo try to do like experiments before, and he doesn't do them alone. So it's possible that he tried to get Quackity to help with him. That part is like super iffy because like I don't have much to back up on that. But like there's so much that I really want to actually point out in that. Also, one last thing, and then I'll be done with this, and then I'm gonna go to one more route. One last thing that I want to point out is that I think at first Dream was in control of freaking Ranboo. I genuinely think that he was at some point, but I don't think he is anymore. And the thing is that I need to find pictures to like show you guys this. But the thing is, give me one moment. The thing is, when Dream was supposedly in control of Ranboo, I need to pull this up. This was like the face that would show up at the end of Ranboo's lore streams. Obviously, this resembles
obviously this resembles Dream's, like, smiley face itself. But it, like, it's like, whenever someone's talking about Dream, obviously they use the colon in that parentheses, like the end parentheses. But, like, Quackity's literal skin face is not the smiley face like that. It is different, kind of. And I want to point out that now we have a different lore ending screen, and that ending screen looks like this, which is the bracket thing that I think more accurately resembles Quackity. Because okay, let me look for Quackity's face. I need to find it. Find just the face. Okay. And then go here. Alright, let me pull it up real quick. That way I can show you. I can show you the differences and, like, similarities and whatnot. Okay, so this is Quackity's face side by side with the other, the most recent ending lore face. It's literally the same shape. And notice how the edge is, like, slightly past the eye. Meanwhile, at this side, it's like you can tell that the face is, like, kind of crooked. You can just tell the face is a little bit crooked. Meanwhile, over here on this side, over where the Dream smiley face is, the crown is, like, perfectly centered. Something is I don't know. Anyways, the literal ending lore screens changed. And I seriously believe that Quackity is behind controlling Rainbow at this point. Hello. Hi. How are you? I'm ranting about hecking lore streams because yeah. Cause I'm a nerd. Anyway, how are you? You doing okay? I is lost in life. I'm gonna call you Life because yes. Life works for me. Yes, I do this for 4 hours a day, so I'm good. Okay. Oh my gosh. But like I spent like a half hour just now just like how are you? Good, I'm doing great. I seriously spent like 20 minutes explaining about how I think that Quackity is controlling Rainbow's Enderwalking state. I have so much on this, and I mean there's so much more, and if I'd probably like spend a whole crap ton of time if I like got into it like even a little bit more. Not gonna lie. So yeah, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna drink some water. Okay. So yeah. Basically the main points were like, I think Quackity is in control because, like, you saw the change in the ending screens and the lore streams for Rainbow. The lessons that, like, Rainbow saw in the most recent lore stream, like, highly resemble something that Quackity has said or would say. And, what were some other main points? Some other main points was, like, literally, Quackity is a law student and knows exactly what he is doing. And he... let's see... there was... I think that was like the more like major points. Oh yeah, no. The last point is that like I don't think it's Dream, because Dream is he's literally in prison in this story. He's been in prison for like 3 months, and like I got the argument about this, that it's the Dreamin'. The Dreamin' is in charge of all this. The Dreamin's behind all of it. Yeah, no, where's the evidence for the Dreamin' even existing is my point. Like, that's literally an explanation to explain the unexplainable. That's all it is. It's something to explain the unexplainable, and that's literally how I worded it earlier. And I stand by that. Anyways, so, what are your thoughts before I get back into one more route of this Minecraft love hunt madness? Like, I genuinely think that it's Quackity. I don't think it's Dream or Dreamin'. Neither of them. Well, actually, I'm just gonna get right back into it. I'm gonna say this. So, say we know that there are, I think, 93. It was 94. And when Rambo had his stream, it was 93 days since he was in prison. So many people think that it's Dream giving him lessons. Yeah, no, I kinda doubt that, because my argument is that Quackity has shown time and time again that he is an opportunist. He is someone that literally snatches every opportunity that he gets. Dream, on the other hand, is patient. He likes to play with his food. He has his fun during this. When we saw the first lesson, which I reckon was lesson 17, and the lesson said something along the lines of, if you have the opportunity to gain a favor, take it. It's not, if you have the opportunity to gain a favor, think on it for a moment, consider everything. No, it's just, don't question it, take the opportunity. Quackity is the opportunist, and if, he's an opportunist because he has a very businessman-like mindset, and the business mindset, I would kind of know, is that time is money, and if there's something that'll waste your time, don't bother with it, because you know your goal, and you don't want to waste any time in trying to achieve it. So I doubt that Dream would write something like that. He wouldn't say get everything as quickly as possible. He would say wait it out, wait for the perfect opportunity, or wait for just the right deal, or something like that, because that's something that Dream would do. Dream would be he would consider all of his options first. He is very methodical in that sense. Quackity's method is just go for it. So I don't think that Dream would write such a thing. And at the same time, Quackity knows that Rambo has memory issues and whatnot, and we've seen before that Rambo he literally is in his enderwalking state in other people's streams. What are the odds that Quackity hasn't seen Rambo in his enderwalking state and then just found out that it was he was easier to manipulate and whatnot? It's possible that he's found that out, and because he's seen Rambo in his enderwalking state, and we know that there's a book that he writes in while he's in his enderwalking state, and he's held one of his memory books before, and so he knows that he probably could have noticed that was a new book, and Quackity is one to look into everything because he's a law student. He's naturally investigative and curious. Have you seen Bad Boy Halo's stream or not? Sorry if it's a bit off topic. Okay. Yeah, no, it's not off topic at all, but I have seen his stream. And I think that it only reinforces my theory. Because when it says, basically, there was another lesson. I can't remember which one off the top of my head at the moment, but it was, like, never fully trust anyone. Now, the reason why I think that Quackity would write such a thing is because Quackity literally said that word for word. Not to mention, when that lesson happened, it appeared on screen as Ranboo was walking to the place where Quackity told Ranboo that very sentence. That he should never trust anyone. He should never fully trust anyone. And I also, I mentioned that Quackity reads into the fine lines a lot, and I'm going to change the title to, like, Dream SMP Theories. Okay. And then, theory time. Let's go to the category. I'm going to make it just chatting. Give me one moment. I shall return to the conversation. Remind me what I was talking about just now, because I completely forgot. Let me update my thing. And we are set. I'm going to still... Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyways. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, he literally said, word for word, that Ranboo should never trust anyone, and obviously neither should Quackity, because he believes in that statement. And, going into the trust part... Oh, this one's fun. So we saw that Quackity and Purpled and Techno teamed up with each other. We all saw that. And we also know that there's a huge reoccurring theme that happens within the SMP, and that one of the main themes within that is that history repeats itself. And the reason why I want to point that out is because literally Dream and Puns both, or no, that's not what I meant. Okay, but basically, remember when, like, the entirety of the SMP joined forces together and they all, like, confronted Dream during, like, that time when Tommy and Tubbo were literally about to die or face a fate worse than death? Yeah. What was it again that Pun said to Dream once they walked through the doors? I'm sorry, Dream, but you should have paid me more. What was it when Purpled, a fellow mercenary, walked in and said to Bad, who was like, we paid you to kill Puffy and to kill these people. Purpled said, I'm sorry, Bad, they just had the better price. History repeats itself. And Techno, mind you, was allied with Quackity, and it's established that they are not on the best of like, relations. They're not on the best side for one another. Like, they don't have the best relationship. Obviously, we've seen time and time again that Techno got betrayed. What's one more in the book? Like, and Quackity knows this. Quackity knows it. It's happened before. And Quackity is clearly getting more and more manipulative. He might have, like, the mindset of just, like, if he finds out and Techno starts getting mad at him, Quackity is just going to, like, sit there and just be like, Techno, you've been getting betrayed so many times. And yet you keep, like, trusting these people. And this is why one can never fully trust people. because you never know when they're going to turn their backs on you. You never know when they're just going to chase after what they want. And obviously, that kind of mindset is going to be deeply rooted into what he experienced with Sapnap and Carl and George. Because he fully and wholeheartedly trusted Sapnap and Carl and George to be there with him, to participate and stay with him while they founded their own country and achieved greatness together. But instead, his mistake was fully trusting them, and they ended up leaving him behind. That was it. That's all it was. And so he now knows that he should only temporarily make those relations for his own goals, for his own good. Because again, business-like mindset, if you find an opportunity, then take it. If it achieves your goal quicker, then go ahead and grab that opportunity, take advantage of it. There is so much. I'll be back in one moment. No problem. I'm probably gonna get back into the game by then, so yeah. Give me one moment here too, because I'm gonna drink some water real quick. All of that rambling has gotten my throat freaking dry, dude. Okay. So, right. I say we should get back to that. Pardon me. I say we should get back to the game because yes. Why wouldn't we? So yeah. Give me a minute. Okay. Back. Good. I'm going to get back into playing the Lovehunt thing. But if you want to keep talking, I still have chat pulled up, so like if you want to keep talking on this during like in between dialogue pieces, that's completely fine. So I'm going to change the stream status and whatnot back to Minecraft Lovehunt. And then change the title to okay. And update that. Okay, now we are good. Okay, I'm going to get back into this, but I don't know. Any more thoughts on the theory thing? You stretched in your seat in the process of getting ready for a match of Hypixel with your friends when you've gotten a notification on your phone. It was an alert from Twitch. Your favorite streamers are online. You finished setting up and proceeded to wait for your friends in the lobby. Thinking that they were taking quite a long while, you decided to put the stream up on your phone. Hi, hello, welcome to the stream, guys. I'm here with George and Sapnap. Say hi. Hi. Hello. We'll be doing another Minecraft challenge for this stream. In this challenge, we coded it so that Suddenly, their voices began to fade out as your eyelids started to feel heavy. You tried to fight against the urge to shut your eyes, but it was proven futile as you felt your body fall back from your seat, completely blacking out. Alright. Thud. You let out a groan as you felt your back collide with the ground. You assumed that you had landed on your apartment floor until you heard 3 different voices from above you. That was a really harsh fall. Do you think they're okay? I literally played this like half an hour ago and I completely forgot there were voices. I don't know, Dream. Why don't you try landing a 140 block fall with no MLG? Dream? That name sounded familiar. That sound effect ringing in your ear was just as familiar too. You began to stir awake and attempt to open your eyes. Wait, guys? Shh! They're waking up, I think. You were met with 3 familiar faces looking down at you and concern. Oh, I completely forgot to, I forgot to turn up the music a little bit. There we go. That works. Okay. And return. Perfect. Hey, are you okay? Here, let me help you up. You were brought music, yes. Maybe don't fall off. Yeah, no, that's... Yeah, that'll definitely hurt. Just an idea. Hi, Jess, how are you? It's been a hot minute. How are you? Hi. Oh, also, Aya's Lost in Life, thank you for the follow. I'm good, how are you? I'm doing great! I actually have something that I need to show you after this. Not gonna lie, I have something very important to show you. You were brought up to your feet by the tall male in front of you, as your arms immediately flailing about as you try to regain your balance. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you again. I'm better than the first person that fell 140 blocks. Oh, you're mean. To be fair, I had no control over that, and I was just glitched into the game out of nowhere. You then begin to pat the dirt off of your pants as you come to the realization that you were surrounded by 3 of your favorite content creators. Pog. We're probably so confused by now. I go by Dream. What's yours? And now, I type in my hecking name. You introduced yourself. Dream grins. I forgot that there were voices. Player 1, nice to meet you. Why does Dream look like that? I have no idea, okay? Probably because it's a dating simulator that I was playing with for the meme at first. Anyways, so many questions. Yeah, as you should. Player 1, nice to meet you. Dream was then pushed over to the side by a brunette who had a bandana tied around his forehead. He seemed to be a really energetic person. Questions. Hi there, Player 1. I'm Sapnap. Sapnap, you didn't have to shove me. I don't know if I wanted to. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You weren't just quick enough to move out of the way. Don't worry, I'm only doing the platonic and rejection routes as of now. I'm just gonna do one more platonic route. Or should I do a rejection route? You guys decide. You bashfully nodded and waved back to the two as they both began to bicker. You heard a sigh coming from your right and looked towards a shorter brunette. I must not laugh. I'm really sorry for these two. This is all completely normal.
Hello.
Every single time the freaking voice comes on, I get scared. I'm George. Pleasure to meet you, Player 1. George? Yes. George then cleared his throat loudly enough. What happened? I don't like how he looks. George, no. You're gonna make me cry. Oh. Just wait how they describe him later on. Holy crap. George then cleared his throat loudly enough for the other two to hear. So what's our plan now? Obviously we're stuck in a Minecraft world, but we can't stay here forever. I can't. My stomach hurts. Okay. Oh, gotta get back. Go get your face fixed. Oh my god! Holy crap! Go get your face fixed. That's the plan, George. What the? flustered, Dream and Sapnap had fixed themselves and focused on the situation at hand. How do you think we can get out of this? Any ideas? It seemed that they have discussed things before you had arrived, confirming that everyone was from the real world and was not a bot built into the game's code. Seeing you fall from apparently 140 blocks high also served as enough evidence that you, too, were real to them. A moment of silence had passed for a while as all four of you tried to think of a solution. I don't know, Dream looks like a Dream looks like a You gotta do Easy for you to say bot tree. That's why the text is highlighted. This is the only time the text is ever colored. This is only evidence that Dream. Okay, no one else. Oh my gosh. Free the. I'm dying. Oh, okay. If we don't have to listen to your we don't have to listen to your bot live stream. We're on to you. Holy gravity. Oh no. Oh no, I killed player. Yeah, you did. Dang, dude. Oh, where was your energy when I needed it? I bet this is all Dream's fault. Actually, it's George's. He coded it wrong. He did this to George. Maybe he made George do it. I don't know. Maybe he made George do it. Anyways. The what? The end. We find the stronghold, beat the Ender Dragon, and free the end, just like how we usually do our challenges. It's now gotten harder for me not to laugh since it's midnight and should be asleep. It's fine. No, I won't listen to such slander against poor innocent George. Poor innocent George. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm actually gonna go for the rejection arc on George's, not gonna lie. I'm not sure if this will help us get back, but it's worth a try, right? Look at his face, he's clearly the victim. But then this is us, Dream. We're not our characters anymore, we're actual people stuck in their places. We can't just die and respawn, 0 hearts and we disappear. How are you so sure about that? We don't know if that's true. Wait, Sapnap out of the blue proceeded to punch George. He is very well being the victim at this point. Will Dream aren't a real person? A glimpse of George's health had appeared on top of his head for a split second with his last heart split in half. Dream's face faltered at this. Of all people, Sapnap, you really had to choose. So, if we're going to finish the game, we all have to be careful. You nodded along, gazing up to see that you had half of your entire health bar down due to your fall earlier. Alright, then let's split up since it's almost nighttime. I'll go mine for ores. George, you go get us as much wood as you can. Sapnap, find us a proper place to reside in for now. As 3 of them went their separate ways, you were left on your own. You wanted to help out too, so you decided to go get some wood. We're going to get some wood. With George, with Doggy. Player 1, so you decided to catch up with me. You nodded as you went to the opposite side of the tree he was getting materials from, starting to break it down. I'm so glad you went with me. This way we could get more supplies a lot faster. No one thought of food? We actually get that later. You smiled at him as you went to another tree to gather more materials. After a bit of silence passed you two, George spoke up once more. So, you play Minecraft. I'm pretty sure you know of us. Is there anything you like to do in particular that got you into it? We're going for rejection arc, dang it. I feel bad at this point. I feel bad. You'd rather focus on the task at hand rather than to participate. Ow, okay. Not what I was going for, but okay. Besides, it'd mean that you could get back to the real world quicker the faster everyone reunites after this. Wow. Wow, that was a bad move. Not much of a talker. Okay, you paid him no mind as you continue to obtain more. Hold on, give me one moment. Give me one moment. Poor George. Goggy is now set. Okay. Once you feel like the amount of materials you've gotten was enough, you peer back and see George was waiting for you to finish. Okay, yes, okay, I am unmuted. I had to make sure. Let's head back, yeah? You nodded as you both make your way back when Sapnap had called out. Guys, I found a ruined portal. The both of your heads snapped towards the direction of where Sapnap's voice resonated and bounded over to his area. Alright. Nice find. As everyone reunited, they had huddled around the ruined portal. I'm just surprised that Goggy is awake and I'm not asleep. Dream and George had exchanged the materials they have obtained, successfully creating a crafting table. Dream resonates enough... where did I get resonates out of the word creates? Dream creates enough stone axes and pickaxes for everyone to be able to defend themselves when needed. I don't know why I said resonates. I'm still stuck on that. George then stashes the crafting table in his inventory. Now, let's see what the chest has in store for us. He motions for Sapnap to take the lead. The brunette bounds over to the chest buried in between the netherrack, opening the lockup and revealing the items locked in. So, what do we got? A gapple. There's also a flint and steel, a few golden ingots, an enchanted golden helmet, and some obsidian blocks. Sapnap then quickly sweeps a hand into the chest before anyone could speak up. I called dibs on the flint and steel. Freaking arsonist. George rolls his eyes over approaching the chest. Then I'll grab the helmet. Man just playing defensive. I like it. Dream was the last to approach the chest, bringing out the two remaining items. He holds them both in his hands as if to weigh his choices. Here, player one. He tosses the golden apple to you. Wouldn't that be heavy? You glanced at it for a second before looking back up towards the blonde. He simply smiled back at you. You'll need it more than I do. Besides, these will be handy later on. Isn't it bad to eat freaking gold? Like, you literally just coat an apple in gold. You don't eat gold. That's not even a freaking thing that you get in cereal. You get iron in cereal, but you don't get any gold. You were about to speak up when the sound of groaning was heard all around you. The three of you had lost track of time as night came upon all of you. Numerous mobs have begun to spawn. Yummy. I am... Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that. Guys, there's a village down there. Find a 1-block hole, that's my marker. Upon hearing this, Dream had already sprinted ahead, leaving everyone else to follow his lead. As you all ran, you heard a yelp from someone behind you. Ah! George! He really is the victim, isn't he? George was wrestling with the zombies. Sapnap also turned his head around and immediately wielded his axe. Freaking butcher! Okay, there's a time decision coming up, so I need... As you looked behind the younger brunette, you spotted a creeper approaching this way. Just leaving y'all. Yeah. Freaking just running away from us. Freaking. Anyways. Dream do be sus. Oh my gosh. You called out for Sapnap to take a big stride to the side as you struck the creeper behind him. You nodded at him to continue his way to George. As the creeper began to flash white, you hit the mob one more time. It recedes to dust as a few orbs of EXP had taken its place. When you turn around, you see Sapnap pushing George off in front of him as in an attempt to get him to move. He passes by you as you turn back to run with them towards the village. Thanks for having my back, player one. Yes, sir. Dream turns around. There's a whole nice detail. Are you guys okay? All three of you nodded in response. Alright, then come on, we're almost there. You all hobbled over to the nearby village. Dream had shoved a random door open and ushered all of you inside, breaking any lever or button nearby by the entrance to ensure that no other mob could get in. He really didn't have to, but it was better safe than sorry. And now we're safe. Dream then sighed as everyone attempted to catch their breath. Anyone hurt badly or anything? You, George, and Sapnap glanced at each other for a minute before shaking your heads all together. Dream sighs in relief before glancing at the iron golem doing its job to protect the village through the window. Well, it seems like we're in a library. Might as well take most of our time here and rest up until daylight comes back. Dream and Sapnap nodded at this. Dream continued to stay nearby the door, keeping watch of the mobs outside. Sapnap had decided to sit by the staircase on the upper floor of the library. George had already gone up to check out the many books on the shelves. He took this as a time to breathe and venture around. We're going up to books. We just have to freaking just... Oh my gosh, we just have to, I guess, be a jerk to George. I kind of don't want to. You decided to head upstairs. You wanted to see what the library had in store for you. Hearing your footsteps approaching, George sees you standing at the top of the stairs. Player one. He smiles at you as he puts the book back in the shelf. You questioned to him as to why he did that. He seemed quite interested in it. Oh, it was nothing, really. You don't buy it one bit, but you let it slide. You stood next to him as you peered at the multiple books with enchantment table language engraved on their spines. Your fingers brush against the leather before George clears his throat. So, books. You like books too? Not really. They bore me. I'm going to feel bad. I don't want to do this. You just can't seem to get into what people like about novels. They're just pieces of papers with some made-up story stringed into it. Oh no! I feel bad. Okay, I'm not doing it anymore. This is too much for me. No, don't do this to George. George seemed to frown at this, but when you took a proper look at him, traces of the negative expression had faded in mere seconds. Yeah. Yeah, so I just killed my own soul. My own soul no longer exists. It is not good. He looks so sad. He looks so sad. That's what you get. I know, but we gotta... I hate doing this. Why am I even doing... I'm only doing it because... Freaking... What did you do this to George for? I have to unlock all of the routes. I really don't want to. I don't want to anymore. I don't want to anymore.
Oh, now you're just hurting me even more with the freaking emotes.
Oh. I feel so bad. He sounded as if you were biting something back. Why would you do that to me? You wanted to pry, but decided against it. They seemed appropriate. How dare you, nonetheless. I feel bad. Guys, I just bullied the criminy out of a grown man. Yeah, he's fighting back his tears. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Sun's out. Let's go and loot this place. Yes. Everyone assembled themselves nearby the entrance of the library. Main focus is to find more iron. If you guys found enough, craft a shield for each of you. I'll look for a furnace and smelt the ones I've mined. I'll keep an eye out for more too. And look for food too. We'll be needing more of it later on. See? They're bot trees. Y'all hate bot trees. Everyone nods and headed off in various directions. You enter a nearby house to be greeted by a villager, who stares at you for a moment before leaving the structure. You shook your head at the random encounter before climbing up the stairs to see a chest in the corner. Opening it, you were greeted by 4 pieces of bread, 2 iron ingots, and an apple. Smiling, you stash all of them in your inventory before heading out. You met up with Sapnap and George as they both emerged from a nearby house. So George approaches you. He gives you a shield and an iron pickaxe to replace your stone one. You noted that he was able to make enough for everyone. Turning around to the sound of footsteps approaching, you see Dream returning with more iron ingots and a bunch of buckets in his hands. I just realized that at the end, I'm going to have to freaking bully George anyway. And I feel really bad. Where's Dream doing sketchy bot things? Mans is doing sketchy bot things, guys. He's doing some sketchy crap. George also made his way to the blonde, handing him his share of the new iron assets. Dream nodded at him in thanks. Nice. Alright, Sapnap? How many obsidian blocks were in the chest? Sapnap pondered for a bit. I think there were 2. Dream glances down at the buckets he had with him and handed a few over to George. Alright, George, you go and get water. I'll go ahead and get some lava. Sapnap, I'll stay here and light the new portal up. You stay here and light the... Dream bounds off to the opposite direction while George walks to a nearby brook. Sapnap walks down the path towards the ruined portal area. Who do you want to catch up to? I kind of feel bad for George, but I'm gonna go with George. You sped up a bit and caught up with George. Sus. He smiles at you as you both fell into step. As you approach the small body of water, George crouches down and scoops up enough water into the bucket. You seem really easy to talk. Do I really? I'm debatable up to this point. How are you with your friends on your end? I saw the first option. I saw the first option, and now I'm just gonna go with they're a great bunch, because I'm just gonna go with they're a great bunch. You've hung out with your friends a lot. They make you laugh without having to try hard. Sometimes they even drag you into unnecessary trouble. You inwardly roll your eyes at the fond memories. George chuckles at this. Yeah, I get that too. They'd get you into all sorts of situations, good and bad. I'll be right back. Okay, you're fine. But I guess what's important is that you're all here for each other. The amusement echoes out in his voice. You agree with his statement. Let's head back. Oh, I just made him American for a minute. No. You nodded before walking right behind him, following the path back towards the ruined portal. Yeah, Dream, bad situations, you bot. Yeah. You guys got the stuff?
Yeah, we got the stuff alright, yeah.
Tenemos los drogas. Everyone raises their needed item, confirming that they all had what they needed. Dream smiles at this before beginning to call George to his side to help complete this portal altogether. You stood by the side as the 3 other members had grouped up together to speed up the portal building process. Once they were all finished, Sapnap flicked the stone in his possession and flared the new nether portal back to life. The 4 of you grinned at the success of your first half of the plan. Sapnap then glances around to everyone else. So, is everyone ready? Dream points to George. Wear your helmet, George. Oh, yeah. Of course he'd remember. George quickly applies the helmet and gave out a thumbs up. We're ready. Sapnap nods, and then you all usher over to the line of blocks right before the portal. You inhale deeply and exhale slowly, an attempt to calm down your nerves before entering the portal. You peer over to the side to see the other 3 doing the same. Dream then began to count. On 3. 1, 2, 3. As Sapnap shouted, the 4 of you jumped into the portal at the same time. And now, we enter the nether. We got the nether. After feeling light for a split second as you thread through 2 different worlds, you feel gravity pulling you down as you entered a warmer surrounding. You decided to take a step down from the obsidian platform. With the disorientation catching up to you, you had fallen onto your knees and clutched your head. Teleporting from one world to another isn't exactly as fun as it seemed. The other three had simultaneously groaned as they landed. Yeah, hopefully we're never doing this again. I second that. Shaking his head, Dream stood up and batted away the netherrack dust that had gotten all over him from the fall. You and the other two had followed his lead and did the same. Dream gazes around the view of endlessly dripping lava, trying to let the scene sink in. The nether. You can hear the dread in Dream's voice, and you were about to approach him about it before he turned around with a stern look on his face. Gather a bunch of netherrack, we'll all need it. You all nodded and split off, and you bounded off to the side, creating a small strip mine to easily gather a big amount of the nearby material. As you mined away, you heard a loud gasp echo from outside the cave. Guys! The fortress is right here! You raise your eyebrows in surprise. It was just near spawn? That's so lucky! Bot Dream acting sus! You hurriedly mine a bit more netherrack before... Oh, now you guys are making me paranoid based off other things that I found out. I'll say in a minute. Before running outside, catching up to Sapnap, who had evidently done the exact same. Nice find, Goggy. George seemingly cringes at the nickname, but was cut off from reacting due to the fact that Dream had ruffled his hair. Lol, the only time they get to actually meet each other in real life is through a video game. That's cringe. That's cringe. Everyone follows George's lead and towards the structure. As your group approaches the nether brick walls, everyone took turns in using their bundles of netherrack to maneuver up to an entrance. As you helped each other up a ledge, George gasps as a wither skeleton attacked him. He had managed to bring up a shield in time to block it. George! I'm fine, let's just go. He shoves the mob back as everyone darted off to the opposite direction. Dream points towards a nearby blaze spawner, calling Sapnap to his side. As they both began to farm for the needed blaze res, George was busy defending the area from the other mobs that had followed you. The other two different mobs had began to multiply as time passed, and you knew you had to help out somehow. We're assisting Sapnap. Blazes do be scary. You quickly situated yourself near Sapnap, fending away a blaze that attempted to get too close to him. He notices your presence and shoots you a grin. Hola. Thanks, Player One. You nodded your head in acknowledgement of his gratitude, and continuing to protect him and slaying more of the blazing mobs whilst at the same time obtaining the rods that drop. We have enough, let's go. You all fought your way through the fortress grounds and went to the nearby netherrack field. As you would dash through the terrain, you noticed Dream and the others weren't heading for the portal. You racked your brain as you wondered why, but remembered that you needed the easiest and quickest way that you all could think of for obtaining ender pearls, and that was through piglin trading. You all looked for a biome that had enough mobs that were available for trading. Dream hollers over to you guys to dig up a hole to surround at least 2 or 3 other piglins. George passes his golden helmet to Dream as he tosses gold ingots towards the hog-like humanoids, leading them to the hole you all made. With no gold to pass the piglins' tastes, the others have begun to run towards everyone else. Sapnap was on one end of the pit, fighting against 2 ghasts that have simultaneously spawned. George was on the other end, fending off other piglins and a few wither skeletons that had followed your group. Dream, make it quick. I'm trying. Dream! We are fighting ghasts, because ghasts do be scary too. Making up your mind, you decided to rush towards Sapnap's side. I'm noticing that Sapnap is fighting the mobs that have to do with fire. That is spicy. One of the ghasts have launched a fireball right towards the brunette. You managed to be quicker enough to swing it back with your axe. The fireball missed the levitating mob, but Sapnap thanked you nonetheless. Knew I could count on you, Player One. Yes, sir. You grinned as you both focused on 1 ghast each. It took you 4 tries to hit the mob back, while it took Sapnap 2. Yeah, that's accurate. After defeating both of them, you gave each other a quick high five. But shortly after, you both saw that more ghasts were coming your way. Nice. Everything began to overwhelm you, from the amount of mobs surrounding all of you to the huge amount of pressure you're feeling right now. Sapnap began to call out, peeved tone seeping out of his voice. Dream! Dream rolled his eyes. Let's go, this way. He was visibly irritated as he was pressured, but hopefully everyone would just shrug it off. You all bolted towards the right direction to the portal, the one the one you finally recognized, and gasped in relief when you spotted the familiar purple particles flaring into the air. Dream approaches it first, not entering the vortex, and instead opted out to take a swing at an approaching aggressive piglin mob. Get in, now! Doesn't he have that helmet on? Isn't that... Anyway. Without a second thought, Sapnap and George had entered the portal, their bodies slowly disappearing into the overworld the longer they stayed in. But... Y'all are so mad at Dream. You glanced back at Dream and hesitated. You didn't want to leave him behind. Dream frowned at you. Go! When you didn't budge, Dream had instead pushed you through the portal. Hola. When it came to, your first reaction was to frantically check your surroundings for your other companions. We're here, Player One. We're here. From behind you, you hear Sapnap and George seemingly out of breath. The older of the two was lying on his back, whilst the other was seated on a nearby grass block and wiping the sweat from his chin. George's voice wavered when he spoke up. Where's Dream? When your heart sank when you had to explain what happened before you teleported back into the overworld. They both frowned at this. Of course he would. We have to go back, see if he's still there. We need to help him. Before their argument could get any bigger, Dream had suddenly appeared into the overworld. He had landed onto the grass with a harsh thud. Dream! You all rushed over to his side, to which he waved off. Both Sapnap and George helped him up onto his feet. I'm fine. Health check, guys? You all warily nodded before looking up to your own health bars. George says that he has 4 left. You and Sapnap have the same amount of 3. Dream had only half a heart. Sapnap frowned as George crossed his arms. What happened to being careful, Dream? Dream waves off as he pulled out a piece of bread to replenish his hunger and to regen. All that matters is that we're fine. It was our first and hopefully last time in the Nether. Of course it ended up messy. You were about to hand him your golden apple, but he noticed and stopped you from doing so. I told you, you'll need it more than I do. Confirmed. He is a bot. He knows exactly what's going to happen in the future. It is confirmed he is a bot. Wait, what? Oh, that's a tree. That's a tree over there. Never mind. You frowned, but you didn't push. You stashed it back into your inventory as Sapnap approached him to craft the Eyes of Ender. As they successfully crafted a few, Dream flicked one up. It slowly rises and leans towards one direction before ultimately plunging to the ground. See? I guess you guys are right, dang it. Oh my gosh. The blonde catches it right before it lands and double checks if it snapped into 2. Well, we have a lead. Let's go. You all then fell into step with each other. The walk was quiet, save for the occasional clinking of the ender eyes that came from Dream. It was a bit too quiet for your liking. Check up on George. Actually, yeah, no, we gotta check up on George. I feel bad. You slowed your pace down to match with George's, who was situated on the very end of your little line of follow the leader. The colorblind male had been munching on his share of bread, effectively replenishing his health. He nods as he swallows his recent bite. Every single time it says the colorblind male, it freaking throws me off so badly. I'm all good, Player One. Thanks for asking. Do you need anything? The only food I've seen you wield was the gapple from way earlier. You shook your head, letting him know they have your own stash of foods. A little bit of silence filled the space between you two before George spoke up this time. So, do you have any questions? Like, in general? I just figured that since you've been with us the entire time, might as well get to know each other a bit more. I mean, we have to do the rejection arc and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. We have to do the rejection because I already did the platonic and I already did the romantic. So instead of, y'all get to watch my soul just get straight ripped out. This is, George looked crestfallen at your response. He thought that you two were getting along just... Oh, sorry, I must have mistaken my mouth.
You look away feeling awkward. No kidding. You really actually thought that I wouldn't feel awkward. No, of course I'm going to feel freaking awkward. Oh my Hannah. Everyone stopped walking when Dream halted in his tracks. It's down here. All souls will break now, thanks. Yup. There's only one more. Oh no, okay. I'm kind of scared for what's going to happen in the future because I just realized, like, in the platonic and romantic, like, endings, typically it's like the person that you were friends with would come and, like, save you at the last minute. But if we're not even friends, am I gonna die? I'm scared now. Okay. He announces that as he whipped out his pickaxe, beginning to mine a way through the ground. I am stressed. George and Sapnap had gone to do the same thing on either side of him.
Oi.
Pardon? I have tics. So you decided to follow through and mimic their actions in front of the hole Dream made. You continued to dig deeper, not even paying attention until you realized you've dug through the stronghold ceiling and fell through. Player 1. You dealt a bit of damage to yourself thanks to your clumsiness. I kind of deserve it. Dream had safely landed with the water MLG friggin' butt, and so did George. Although he let his water spread around for a bit, for Sapnap to land safely in. You're gonna give us a heart attack, Player 1. Be careful next time. You let out a sheepish chuckle as you pulled out an apple from your inventory and proceeded to munch on it to regen. You all took a better look at which part of the stronghold you guys were located in. You all realized that you were in the middle of it, with 3 pathways: the end portal, the library, and a way to another hallway. Sapnap lets out a huff. Huh, lucky. You patted off the remaining dirt off your clothes as Dream began going towards the portal room, getting rid of the silverfish spawner before starting on filling the gaps of the portal itself. Sapnap scratches his head before heading off into the empty hallway that led to an iron door. I'll go over here and check if there's any stuff I can grab before we enter. To be honest, you do deserve falling. Yeah, I knew it. I kind of figured. Same, I'll check over here. You were there, left to your own devices yet again. Oh, this is going to hurt. You took the left path, entering the iron door and following the older male. This is gonna hurt. As you entered the room, you were greeted by tall rows of bookshelves filled to the brim. Hearing the clink of an iron door closing behind you, George called out from the corner of the room. I'm right here. Oh dear. You followed the sound of his voice, leading you to him. As he closed the chest, he proceeded to sit on it. I don't want to do this. Just a compass and a few blank pages, nothing useful. He mutters out a little, oh yeah, and proceeded to bring out his crafting table, seemingly creating a bow along with some arrows. A moment of silence had seeped into your conversation before he called out to you. Player 1? Yes? You looked to him. He seemed a bit nervous and flustered. I figured that maybe this will be the last time you will be able to talk in a calmer matter, I'd say. So I just wanted to admit something, Player 1. I think you're really amazing. Wow, that's surprising considering that I've like bullied you this whole time. I hope I don't like overwhelm you or anything. I just wanted to let you know that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. I'm gonna be honest, if I die, honestly, that I'll just be reuniting with my soul because my soul has left like a long while ago. Okay. Then again, I'm already dead inside. What the frick am I talking about? Time to die both mortally and internally. George sighs in relief.
I'm glad you aren't exactly annoyed with me or anything. He hops off to the chest. Let's head back? I'm pretty sure Satnap's calmed is... George is being way too nice to me, and I feel so bad. I'm pretty sure Satnap's calmed his nerves and Dream's finished up the portal by now. You nodded and followed his lead. Oh. I hope that I didn't get the platonic thing again. Any encouraging words? I really hope I don't get the platonic thing again. Please tell me it's rejection. When you met Gazes, Sapnap dumbly points at himself. The reason why I wish that it's not platonic is so that way I don't hecking die. Like, that way I don't have to, die inside again. Me? He laughed at him as the other two had simply nodded. Sapnap laughs along for a bit as he cheekily scratches the back of his head. Well, we don't know how things will go in the end, but I sure hope we'll all make it back. Actually, no. I'm sure we'll make it back. Everyone had given each other affirming glances, reassuring one another that they're ready before staring down towards the black vortex. I just processed that I would be, so much shorter than all of them. Holy criminy. You gripped on the axe and shield you were wielding, your nerves making you feel all jittery. On 3, Satnap shakily breathes. 1, 2, and everyone began to run up. 3! Freaking bot. Don't say 3, that's my job. You braced yourself as the discomfort of teleporting began to set in. You covered up your mouth as you landed onto the obsidian platform, trying to get a hold of yourself. George shakes his head as he checks on everyone right after landing. Player 1, are you okay? You waved him off, coughing as you do so. It doesn't particularly convince him, but he trusts you enough to regain your balance yourself. Dream and Sapnap seem to have gotten used to the feeling of teleporting as they appeared fine. You struggled to get back on your feet as they began to build their way towards the center of the island where the dragon was situated. You got yourself on your feet and caught up to them. Go ahead and push towards the dragon. I'll take care of the ender crystals. Make every shot count, George. Of course. He runs off to the sides as he already begun aiming at the top of the pillars. Dream turns to you. Me and Sapnap will go ahead and land attacks on the ender dragon, cause... Hello, sir, but... You steer clear from her, alright? Kill some endermen and grab the pearls they drop so that way you can filter them to us or use them for yourself if you have to flee. You obliged, staying in the outer ring of the island that was as the two childhood friends rushed towards the middle. You dared to make eye contact with the tall, void-like mobs to aggravate them. That scared me. It proved effective as they began to open their mouths, their irritating buzzing getting louder as they launched themselves at your shield. You shoved them away and attempted to land hits on them whilst taking caution of any of their attacks that managed to get too near to you. After taking at least 2 hits from the mob, you counted the amount of ender pearls you've gained whilst eating some bread to regenerate your health. Seeing that you have gotten quite a lot, you quickly jump to the middle to throw some to Dream and Sapnap. Only Sapnap needs it. Dream is hacking. Thanks, player 1. He's got creative mode on. That's what's going on. Sapnap manages to catch all of it, tossing the other half towards the blonde who had just landed his water MLG. Pardon me. After a few more minutes of combat, it seemed that the Ender Dragon's health had depleted until halfway. George had already done his job of shooting all the healing crystals. Holy criminy. You were busy looking around for the older male when the dragon had launched a fireball near you. You had only heard a soft thudding sound, and before you knew it, you're surrounded by purple particles that began to burn you. Ugh, I cringed at that one that time. Player 1. Use an ender pearl. Get out of there. You fumble over the items in your inventory, finally stumbling over the sphere-like object and throwing it away to somewhere safer. Your breath was shaky and in short puffs as you teleported. You looked up to your health bar to see that you had only 2.5 hearts left. Player 1, are you okay? No, I am not. You wanted to reassure them that you're fine, even a wave of your hand, but the required effort to do as such was too much for you and ended up making you feel a lot more lightheaded. Freaking Dream could still walk with half a heart. Freaking, yeah, he is a bot. Go away, sir bot. Exactly. George, we need you. I just told you to go away. Being the nearest one to you, George glances back to you worriedly. You shook your head in an attempt to tell him to go help the others. George furrowed his eyebrows together before turning away and ran towards the middle. I'm right here. We need your help in keeping the dragon away from player 1. Why didn't you specify that? This bot. Freaking, yeah, I know. Got it. Right. Dream was the sole person out of everyone in your group to have experienced being on half a heart, and you were close. Nah, you're just justifying in your head as to why the weird crap isn't weird. To say it hurt was sugarcoating it. You felt excruciating pain as your heart tried to make up for the blood that you've lost from the recent situation. As you breathed heavily, you fiddled around for the golden apple that had stayed in your inventory the entire time. The last time you checked the dragon's health bar, it was nearly finished. Just a few critical hits and it would be over. You sighed as you took your time, finally being able to fish it out from all of your belongings. You were about to eat it when you heard a bellowing noise from above. The end dragon was coming right at you. Player 1. You froze and shut your eyes tight as you braced yourself for what was about to happen. I died. You heard the noise of a hit. You didn't feel any pain. You opened your eyes and saw... Oh, my heart. This hasn't happened before. This hasn't happened before. Typically, George would shoot it. No. George, he had a smile on his face, but his teeth were clenched. I'm going to cry. He let out a breath as you glanced up at his health bar. No. The remaining heart in his health bar had begun to flash white before disappearing altogether. You caught him as he fell forward right into your arms. You held him as closely. I thought he feels so light. You noticed that there were specks of colors appearing around. No, they were pixels. He was disappearing into the jungle. This is Bot Dream's fault, it is! Oh no, I'm gonna have to experience it again! Gosh dang it, Bot Dream, curse you, Bot Dream. What do you have to say for yourself? George! Dream exclaimed before landing a final hit onto the dragon. Oh my gosh, shut up, bot boy! It lets out a screech as the leather takes out, light protruding its body as it slowly disintegrates into specks of particles and EXP points. Sapnap had immediately ran to your side. I can't hit enter. It's not working. Is it just it's not working. George? No, come on. No. Bot boy broken. George, stay with us. Don't screw around. George only lets out a weak giggle. His body beginning to glitch out as he tries to post Snapchat. Sapnap's cheek lightheartedly. The dream hurries to your area, holding his other hand. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. Come on, guys. It was better than me, than any one of you. I wouldn't want you to having to experience any of this. George, stop being an idiot for once. You began to tear up. Man, I'm already crying. Oh my gosh. Will's both Dream and Sapnap had begun to weep for their best friend. Stop fooling around, George. You're coming with us. Come on, just drag him to the void. Drag him to the void. Just shut up and come through the portal by your side. Yes, please. Just do it. Just do it. Hey, guys, you look way better with smiles on your faces. Let's try that, yeah? Smile for me? James, let out so much. No. I can't anymore. Dream lets out a sob and Sapnap could only sniffle, but the two of them tried their hardest to give George what he wanted. They always did. Yeah. Instead of rejection, you get death. No kidding. I expected it to be like, yo, it's fine, George saved you. You're still bros though, it's okay. Not this. They let out the best smile they could ever muster. George grins back. Oh, I knew I could always count on you two. He then turns to you. I thought you... Player one, I'm sorry to... I'm sorry to have annoyed or burdened you in any way. But I have only one last request for you. Could you please take care of these two for me? But you could even give him a response. His body collapses into thin air. The last thing you saw was a pleased smile on his face. Oh my gosh, why would you? Why? I'm gonna have to experience this again. Jim and Sapnap had simultaneously let out loud wails as they began to lower themselves to the ground where their best friend used to be. You sat there motionless and unable to properly comprehend that just happened. You feel numb. No, I don't. I feel freaking sad. But you also began to shed your own share. Freaking began about time. All three of you had stayed there a bit longer, allowing yourselves to grieve for a while longer. Why? After a few moments, Dream took a shaky stance on why. Freaking bot boy, now's not the time for an inspirational speech, okay? And Dream took a shaky stance up. Whilst wiping the tears away from his face, he reaches out to both of you and Zapnap to help you both up to your feet. Come on. We have to go. Oh, why? He keeps his grip on both of your sleeves and sapnaps as he leads all three of you to the exit portal. It was silent as he pulls both of you into the vortex. You woke up on your bedroom floor, clutching at your throbbing head. It seemed that you had fallen over your chair. You hear your phone buzzing from your desk. Groaning, you crawled over to check your notifications to see what they were going off for. For the first few spams, it had been from your friends as you were apparently late for your Hypixel game together with them. The most recent one was... Dream was taken... went live. My chair broke. We've never seen Dream go live. Huh. You tapped on the notification and tuned into the stream. Sapnap, stop laughing. I didn't laugh at you when you screwed your chair up. Sapnap lets out a cackle. It sounded like he was laughing so hard to the point we had to clutch his stomach. But I wasn't the moron who not only accidentally disconnected his Wi-Fi, but also leaned back to the point of breaking his own chair. The Texan continued to poke fun at his stream. Dream lets out a scoff. Whatever, Sapnap. Chat, we're delaying the challenge me and Sapnap coded for a bit. Me and Sapnap? Did they forget about George? Did they forget about George? Oh, I don't have anything else to sit on. You let out a chuckle at their interactions. Their chemistry with each other as a duo had always been entertaining, though you feel like... Oh yeah. Don't tell me this is XD, not the time. Your Hypixel game. They forgot about George. George never existed. George never existed anymore. George never existed anymore. George never existed anymore. I knew it. I knew it. I was right. I don't want to be right this time. I don't want to be this time. Bad end. 404. It's not a rejection ending, it's a bad ending. It's a bad ending. It's not a rejection, it's a bad ending. I need a minute to... Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Oh, that should not have been that good. Like good as in quality. Good as in quality. That should not have been that good. Oh. Oh my gosh. George never existed. He never existed now. Someone just texted me, how's the stream? Someone just texted me, how's the stream? Oh my gosh. Someone... Oh my Hannah. I got way too involved in that. Oh. I don't want to leave it. I don't want to leave it off on a sad note like this. I really don't. I don't want to leave off on a sad note. What should we do? What should we do really quick? Oh my Hannah. You know what? I don't know what else to do. There's nothing else really that I can do. I'm gonna... I'm gonna end the stream here. I am like shaking. I am not okay, but at the same time, I will be fine. Don't worry about me. Please don't worry about me. But thanks for joining. I'm actually going to raid the other person that was in this chat earlier. I'm gonna raid Jess. So, jeez, I can't even type in /raid right. Underscore. Okay. So, thanks for tuning in, really. Okay, bye. Have a nice day /night. Yeah, thanks for sticking around, man. Yeah, genuinely appreciate it. That means so much to me. I was not expecting that. I couldn't. I seriously thought that. I thought it was just gonna be another, like, and you open your eyes and you saw George holding his bow, he fired his last arrow at the Ender Dragon and saved you. That's typically what would happen. But no, I have to do that again. I have to do that again with Sapnap. Sapnap, my beloved. Oh, maybe what I left on TikTok will make you feel better. Oh, I'm gonna get so many clips out of this. That's for sure. Oh, anyways, yeah, I'll go check out TikTok after this. But thanks for tuning in once again. It said earlier that I can't raid. That I can't raid Jess. Let me try one more time to see if it works, and if not, then I'm going to find another another streamer to see if I can rate them. So give me 1 second. It still says that I can't rate them. Okay, let me. Is there a specific game that you want to see? Because you're the only viewer here, so I will cater to what game you want. What do you want? Actually, ooh, there's a streamer that's playing Life is Strange. Does Life is Strange work? Do you know what Life is Strange is? I mean, it's a fun game. If anything, I think you'll enjoy it. Oh, my Hannah. I don't really mind. Okay, then I'm gonna rate them. So give me 1 minute to type it out. But that being said, once again, thank you for tuning in. It truly means a lot to me. I'm hurt. I'm only gonna have to do it again with Sapnap, but... Oh, wait. Yeah. 1 minute. So... Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to drink some water. I 100% will after that crying session. Holy criminy. But I will see you all later. Don't forget to take care of yourselves. Maybe eat a little snack if you really need to. Bye, guys.